just got up here to the wood shop. I got quite a day planned for myself. I'm going to start by patching up these cracks and refinishing the face of the Lute guitar so I can go ahead and get it strung and start playing it. And then while that's gluing and stuff, I'll be working on this. I'll probably be here till late. So the first thing I need to do is very carefully detach the bridge, since it's heavily involved in all these cracks. Then I'm going to have to remove the cage here. And I'm debating removing these 3 frets. I'm not sure. I'm going to see what it takes. That worked out very well. I just carefully got under the edge of it with the chisel there and tapped it with the leather hammer. And I didn't do any damage at all to the surface. Came right off. I was able to press this half the way out, but it's pretty stuck here. So I'm going to take the carving knife and very carefully etch the edge of the glazing here that's got that stuck in. I didn't see that one coming. Well, I need that out of there. I feel like the best way to accomplish that is going to be to sand down 2 sides and slot it so I can slide it up out. Alright, that worked out. You see, I just took the palm sander and sanded down the edges through the hole. Very minimal intrusion where I removed it. I didn't want to take any more off of that than I had to. I didn't want to get into the epoxy edge. But that right there, I can doctor that up and seal it back up with the new epoxy I seal this in with. So not a big deal. Alright, so my first move is going to be to go inside here where this big hairline crack that's a full split is. I'm going to sand and clean the back. And I'm going to take and glue this inside and clamp it to seal that up. All the way down here, there's not a lot I'm going to be able to do about that. I might take and glue one long way. But there is, right here under the bridge, there's a big long soundboard going all the way across. And then there's another one. There's one below it, and there's one above it. So that's a really good reinforcement that seems to be attached and in good form. So I can probably just repair the face here and reseal it, and that should get a lot more life out of the instrument. But this one, I think I should definitely reinforce the back. Now up here behind the frets, right here, there's another long soundboard going all the way across. Probably the only reason this instrument's still together with all these cracks is these soundboards it's got. And so I think here it's just going to be another facial repair. I don't think I'm going to do anything behind it. I could put another piece of this long ways like I'm talking about down here just for some extra reinforcement. I might do that. Alright, I've got the inside of the face cleaned up. I've got my patch. It's cut down to where it actually touches both soundboards. So now I'm going to glue it, clamp it in there, and let it set. And then I can move forward. I figured I'd sign the patch before I glued it in there. Alright, I've got my glue sanded down here where the bridge was. I've done some surface sanding on these cracks. I've got this one sanded and the inside sanded up. I made another patch. I'll have to clamp that one in. This one is set. The guitar is missing a fret. So I pressed and folded a piece of aluminum and manufactured a new one. And I'm about to set it in there. Can you tell which one it was? Here it is. I'm ready now to pull these clamps off of this patch and go ahead and move forward with doing one more up here. Alright, this top patch that I made is now gluing. I'll cut another patch to fit in here. Go ahead and get it clamped so I can get that done. Alright, now that bottom inside patch is all locked up. That was a lot of work, but finally got the face stripped and sanded and ready to be stained. The cracks are all smooth now, you can't feel them. They're all patched and glued up on the inside, so moving on. It's all taped up, got a clear coat on it now. Alright, third and final coat. It's looking really nice and shiny. And now it's got to sit overnight before we can put the cage back in and move together with finishing up. And now I'm back. Day 2. Shiny. Looks good. I'd say that that is a restoration and finish that complements the age of the instrument. It's not re-perfected. I haven't taken her years away. I've just given her more. You can see now, the only light passing through that face is coming through the holes where the pegs go for the strings. She's resealed. I've got some stripper working on where the bridge needs to be glued down. Now I've fashioned a tool to help me sink this in and pop it and glue it back up, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Well, that took a little bit of engineering to figure out, but I came up with a way to get that cage pulled up in there and the glue should set. It's seated quite nicely. Getting it straight was a bit of a challenge. I've got one small area here where I've got no contact. Mostly it flushed up really good. It seated a lot better than it was originally when I got it. I don't know about when it was made. So what I'm going to do is, you can see there where the glue actually filled in that one spot. So I'll come back and run some glue in here to fill all this in and then wipe it back out. And it should look about like that, which pretty much looks natural. The glue is set. So now I'm ready to go ahead and try to fill that in. And then I can work on the bridge. There we go. When that dries, it should yellow up and look almost exactly like the aged epoxy. About like that does. You can see how the bridge will look fitted. I managed to strip an area for the glue to contact without breaking into my face any. So that's nice. All the pegs still seat in nicely. This one's not original, so I'm gonna have to maybe shave it just a little bit to get it to seat all the way in. The rest of them are, but that one does not want to. This one's not original either, but it fits. You can tell the difference between the replaced ones, and you can see why they're replaced, because they're quite aged. I had to come up with some fairly crazy shit to get that bridge glued down flat, but it looks like my contraption's doing the job. And I was sparing with the glue. I didn't want it squishing out of there. It looks like I accomplished that too. Not crazy about putting pressure on the instrument like this, but I've got it cinched down just so. Only enough to get it flat, no more. It was, there was a lot of glue on it before. I think it's been like glued back on maybe more than once in its life. But I got all that stripped off and smoothed down and sanded and got a good wood-to-wood contact surface. It was very curled up and gapped to begin with, and it should be nice and flat now. And I kept the glue away from the pegs so they shouldn't get glued in, I hope. I'll say this, we're definitely testing our crack repairs right now because we're right on those guys. And nothing's happening. Everything's holding. She seems solid. Like I said, I didn't try to crush it. I just tried to get that bridge flat, so. It's got kind of like a surfboard look to it now. Which I know the shape was always there, but the tone, I don't know. Anybody else see that? I could already feel me hating myself forever for breaking that fret and not replacing it. So, I'm replacing it. Alright, I got that cut and sanded smooth and sharpened so it'll dig into the face. Now I'm going to hit her with some gloss automotive enamel so it'll match the resin ones. I've used the carving knife to painstakingly prepare the opening to accept the new fret, since I am literally driving a wedge into the face of this 100-year-old lute guitar. I don't want to separate the face, so I want to make sure that most of the work is already done and I'm just gluing and seating this, not actually trying to penetrate it with the sharpened fret. I have my clamps off now. You can see the edges still curl up a little bit because I didn't get glue all the way up there. I didn't want it coming out on the face where I couldn't wipe it off in time. But it's actually the pegs that retain the tension of the strings. So as long as the bridge is on there, it's on there. And you just should have seen it before. And the pegs did not get glued in. Yay! I got that odd peg sanded down. So now with strings installed, everybody will be at the same height. It was like way out there when I got it. Coating on the frets coming along nicely. It'll be a while before I can flip it and do the other side yet, but should look good. It was missing its top strap peg. The strap's kind of essential for playing one of these because of the shape of it. So I made one. And it looks pretty natural. Except for the fact that that one's ivory. I only had 2 little spots where the glue sank in just a little, so I put a little bit more in there. But you can see the rest of it did like I said it was going to do. It yellowed up pretty much and blended in. And this part of the journey is complete for the lute guitar. The restoration is complete. We've got strings on it, a pre-tune. They're stressing in now. She's truly beautiful. Very happy with the outcome of this. I can't wait to play it. After tuning her up and playing for a little bit, I noticed that the glue was peeling on the bridge. So what I'm going to do, I've started 2 pilot holes here. And I'm just going to countersink and put some screws in it like a modern guitar. And I'll fill them back over. Alright, got my countersink set. My screws ready to go in. Hopefully it goes good. Alright, that little last minute repair is complete. Screws countersunk and torqued in. I got enough room to fill them in on my next visit to the wood shop. And it should hold just fine. The bridge was just wildly determined to peel off the face of the guitar when I was tuning it. So, I put another screw. Bet you won't come off now. I'll take the opportunity I missed earlier to get a good look at the fret I made. The bottom one's the one I made. And, I mean, it doesn't really stand out, does it? Finished my last minute emergency repairs on the lute. It's late, so I'm probably going to pass out editing this video. I had a whole lot of fun doing this. The instrument should last a long, long time now. And I'll see you on the next episode.